how do you get a booking agent, and how do you make the best dill pickle dip ever? Those are just two of the many topics we're going to cover today on Cooking Backstage. I continue to be Mark Watson, and this is going to be the first time that we film on location. We made our way from beautiful Burlington to picturesque Tara, Ontario, Canada, which is about 2.5 hours northwest of Toronto, near Owen Sound. Now our guests today are Jen and Ryan HEERSCHAP. They own a booking agency called iBook Shows. They represent 3-time Juno winner David Francey. They also represent Madison Violet, Fred Eaglesmith, Coig, Catherine MacLellan, JP Cormier, Dave Gunning, Amy Bishop, and Irish Mythen, along with a bunch of other great artists. A link to the iBook Show's website will be in the description below, as well as links to other topics we're talking about today, including a link to Jen's new venture called the Bruce Peninsula Co. It's a gift and apparel company, including this beautiful t-shirt. So check that out again in the description below. A couple other quick things. We want to thank our sponsor, High Performance Management. And I'd like to make sure that you please subscribe, hit the like button and the bell button. Please. Thank you. Okay, now join me as we head to the HEERSCHAP's home in the woods. Let's do this. So here we are in Tara, Ontario at the HEERSCHAP's house. We've got Jen and Ryan, two guests for the first time. Jen is a phenomenal cook, and Ryan has introduced me to every single cooking appliance that I own. So the Blackstone, the smokers. So what are we making today, guys?
Making a couple of dips, a dill pickle dip and a Nilla cookie wafer dip.
And I'll be making a cheeseburger bacon sliders.
All right, well, I'm looking forward to it. Let's do it. Okay, first up, the dill pickle dip. I love this dip. Every time we bring it to our house, I always make sure there's a little bit left over so I can get up at 2 o'clock in the morning and I eat it with a spoon.
Right.
Yeah. And then I blame the kids that, oh, I don't know what happened to it. So. But no, this dip is incredible. So, what's in it, Jen?
Philly, or any cream cheese, chopped up dill pickles, fresh dill or dry dill. I use dry dill just as much, and garlic powder.
Great. We mix it up and...
Ready to go.
All right, let's see.
And then next, just to thin the dip a little bit, you want to add some of the dill pickle brine. So you can add as much or as little as you like, depending on how you want the consistency of the dip to be. You turn it back on?
Yep.
And then you add your cast of characters here. So we've got our chopped dill pickles, and you can use as many or as little as you like. The dill.
And the dill pickles are just hand chopped?
Yep. Probably about a teaspoon of garlic powder, which you can omit if you're not fussy on garlic, but if you're having dill pickles, you probably do like garlic. And we're just going to whip this up more. Yeah?
And that's it?
Yep, that's
Put it in a bowl and serve. So you started as a musician actually in this business, got out of the business, and now you're back in.
Yes.
Tell us about that journey.
Well, there was bills to be paid, so I got a office job, which I enjoyed for almost 20 years. And then, as you know, Ryan's got an agency, and we kind of made the decision to have a change of pace where I could work from home. And yeah, and it was great up until COVID.
And there you are, Jen's dill pickle dip, which I will be eating most of in the next 10 minutes. So next up we've got the Nilla Vanilla Dip.
Yep.
Nilla Vanilla Dip. And we make this because then it keeps the kids out of the dill pickle dip. So, but this is also fantastic. The kids love it. So what goes in it, Jen?
Philly vanilla pudding, but you could use banana pudding, but I'm like just to stay traditional with vanilla. Icing sugar, milk, vanilla, and then your items to dip it in.
Oh, so yeah, we dip with apples as well, right?
Yes, it's a sneaky way of getting them to eat fruit when there's trays of cookies and brownies out on the table.
Awesome. All right, let's see it. You've recently moved out of the GTA and you're now in Tara, Ontario, as we said. So how do you foresee that impacting your business, if at all?
I don't see it changing anything about the business. I feel like a lot of people in the industry have taken this as an opportunity to reevaluate where they are and realizing they don't have to necessarily be in the GTA to do business.
Yeah, really, you just need a phone line and internet. Right?
Yeah, exactly.
And do you have a specific type of artist you're representing? A specific genre?
Yeah, we normally work with folk roots Americana artists. I'm just going to add some milk here.
2 cups?
2 cups of milk, yes, sorry. All right, now to whip.
Okay, what goes in there next?
Icing sugar, we're going to add 1.5 cups.
All right. And so you mentioned that normally you would probably whip the cream cheese first.
Yeah, don't do as I did. I made this wrong.
Oh, did you?
Did you really?
I didn't want the filling in here. Maybe a little chunky. Whip the cream cheese first, and then add your pudding mixture and milk after.
Yeah, it still worked out though, huh?
Yeah. So 1.5 cups. You need to add about 2 teaspoons of vanilla. Now, a little bit more. And we're just going to whip it up a bit more. And then once you've chopped up your apples, add a little bit of lemon juice just so that they don't brown and they stay nice and white.
That's cool. How long will that last?
You can actually store them in a bag overnight and they'll still be nice and white in the morning.
And you won't taste the lemon?
Nope. Just use a little bit, like a tablespoon. And depending on what you and your family like, you can garnish it up a little bit. I've used caramel sauce in the past. My favorite's the scored chipettes that you can put on the top. Just gives it a nice little layer of something different in texture. Beautiful.
All right, man. Walk me through the ingredients.
Got some medium chuck beef here, medium cheddar, an egg, some bacon crumble, salt, pepper, and a Blackstone all-season spice. So first we'll add our beef. An egg here. Oh, Jesus.
How'd you become an agent? How'd you start your own agency?
I always wanted to be in the music business and volunteered street teams and different things like that, and it just ended up meeting people in the business. Through that, I was introduced to a gentleman named Doug Kirby, who had an agency called Live Tour Artists, and with the push from my wife Jen to, I was in transportation, leave that and pursue the career in the music business. I worked at Live Tour Artists for just over 4 years, had some great friendships there and made a lot of great relationships. Got out of the business for 6 months and then decided to start my own agency after that, and I've had iBook shows now for, I guess it'd be 13 years, 12 years now. So yeah, just kind of eyeballing everything. There's no specific measurements. It's just a HEERSCHAP mashup. Yeah. This isn't anything fancy, just something real tasty. A little bit of salt. And then some of the all-purpose seasoning. Mixed in together, just gonna roll it up into essentially little balls, which we'll place right on the griddle. And then I'll use a cast iron pan to smash them down.
All right, let's get a shot of your balls here, Ryan. So you can normally get about 10 out of a package?
That's it, yeah. I got a solid 10.
Those are some good looking balls.
It's not the first time you said that.
So the bacon's going to be the base for the burgers, just to cook in the grease?
That's correct, yeah. Give it some flavor.
How do you find talent, and what are you looking for?
We find artists through peers in the business, other artists that we work with will recommend artists. Managers that we work with will bring on new artists and approach us. We also attend showcases, different events, just go out and check out live music. Anything that kind of speaks to us, we will definitely pursue.
And when's a good time to approach an agent?
From the artist side, I would recommend, having some, maybe a little bit of history under your belt in terms of you've done some touring, there's a bit of a market value there. Once you get an agent, you have to remember now that you're paying out for their services. So when you know you have a market value and you can afford to have an agent, then that's when, I think that the time's right. Generally, what I'll recommend is to an artist, have the agent come to you versus knocking on the agent's door day in, day out.
What are your thoughts on what the touring market's going to look like on the other side of COVID?
I think it's going to be stronger than I've seen over the course of my career. I think it's going to be very busy though as well. The highway is going to be full because there's a lot of artists out there that essentially been stuck at home. So I feel that's going to be one side of it. It's going to be very busy, but I think it's going to be stronger. We're booking shows right now in Atlantic, Canada, and they're selling out left, right, and center, which shows that there is that demand. People enjoy the virtual shows, but it's the in-person, being at the concert, that experience is what they thrive for.
Yeah. From a presenter's perspective, what are going to be the challenges?
I think presenters are going to likely feel overwhelmed because of the amount of opportunities that are going to come at them. A lot of the presenters we've worked with that we had dates on the books that have been postponed or canceled, they're kind of leaning back towards those artists to still want to present them once we can get back to some sort of normalcy. I think also too, the presenters are in the same position where they haven't been able to present, and it's going to be, as it always should be, a team effort. Everybody in this industry is going to have to work together to prop it back up, and all be there for each other. So it's going to be partnerships, working fair deals, and working together for long-term growth.
So you sign an artist. What are the challenges you often face?
Expectations versus reality. Sometimes artists will think that I've got an agent now, so I'm going to be touring 300 dates a year, and ultimately the agent steps in, becomes a strategic partnership in that artist's career. The agent's always working for the artist, not the other way around, and without proper guidance and direction, some artists' expectations are just overwhelming.
We're all set. We got a good base there for the burgers to cook in. All right, so you got some parchment paper in there?
Yeah, just to avoid the pan from sticking.
And you just smash them down?
Yeah.
Nice.
Pretty simple, straightforward, tastes good.
So do you feel it's your job as an agent to get as much money for the artist as possible?
Not necessarily. Sometimes it's definitely about a strategy, and it's a partnership. I let all the artists know that I work with that when we enter into a conversation with a presenter or a festival or venue, that it is a partnership that we're entering into. That it's what's good for one should be good for everybody, and to help grow and advance the artist's career.
And you want return business, of course, right?
Absolutely, yeah. You don't want to necessarily take every penny from somebody, and if they end up losing it, well, now there's a presenter that could be gone out of the marketplace. You want to work with everybody in fairness, and as the saying goes, if you felt like you left a little bit on the table, and the presenter felt like you left a little bit on the table, and probably a good deal overall. You just top them with whatever you like. So add a bit more bacon. Maybe a pickle, and sweet with heat mustard. Nice and simple.
How do your balls taste?
Delicious.
Oh my god, they are. Have a bite, Johnny.
I'm gonna have my own.
Holy shit, those are good.
I've never made them before.